Hey y'all, what's up? Dr. B here, and we are in the car on the way to my regular 9 to 5 job this morning. So we're gonna do this today, and it's carbs this week, so breakfast is a great time. So I went to Dunkin' Donuts, and we got the order in front of us, which is one double chocolate donut and one small frozen coffee, no flavoring, no whipped cream or anything. So this is a plain Jane here today. But anyways, I'm gonna post the calorie information below and the carb information. And I think it's like an insane amount of added sugar. So that's all the carbs here. So even like in one donut and a small, at Dunkin', frozen coffee, there's an insane amount of added sugar. And the carbs that are in here, I very much doubt that they're good or whole carbs. That's probably been refined for sure. And but that's the thing. So when we're in habits and stuff like that, and we're talking about patience, Dunkin's okay once in a while, maybe once a week, and even then, what are you getting? You're eating like half a donut, one donut whole, you know what I mean? So like, we definitely have to think of it in terms of like, daily recommended values, lifestyle, things of that nature. So, sweet treats cool every once in a while. Do you need one every day? Probably not. Do our patients need one every day? Probably not. And when we do splurge, right, we probably shouldn't eat like the whole box of Dunkin' Donuts. As much as I would eat a whole dozen of these bad boys, we probably shouldn't. So that's where we're at today. Check out the food nutrition information below, just on this one donut and this small frozen coffee, and look at all the added sugar and carbs here. As you work on the rest of the nutrition project, we're talking about fiber this week. That's the fiber. Very little fiber here in this, some patients this might be your daily driver for breakfast, because of time, or it's on your commute and things like that. So got it, as we work in healthcare as nursing professionals, and other healthcare professionals, and how we approach nutrition and lifestyle changes and changes in our community to have opportunities for better foods available on the go, for our working communities, for the working people in our communities, I think is important as well. So I'm gonna sign off here because I'm late for work. I gotta get on time, but I'll see you in class.